Let's take up on the Bible and open up to page 920. Gospel of the Lord, proclaimed by the Lord, St. John, in the 9th chapter, so the 3rd chapter, verse 14. As Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even must the Son of Man be lifted up in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Christ, by being held to the cross, opens unto us a way to be cured of the bites of the devil. What are the bites of the devil? Is this some sort of Father John phraseology, the bites of the devil? Part of the Bible says that the devil is like a lion that goes around the world devouring faithful. That's a big bite. A little bite, a big bite, you wouldn't notice it. Right? You know the story in the Bible where the Lord is walking amongst a crowd of people, and the woman comes up and she touches him, and he says, "Who touched me?" And they said, well, I would say in modern American English, say, "Well, you're surrounded by a bunch of people here. Who touched you?" But you see, he knew that the person who touched him wanted something and received something from him. So sometimes we're not that sensitive. Right? Sometimes you know, like, you might get right, I'm not going to get you on. I don't know what's going to do so hard. But I think somebody might touch you, you might not feel it. So the devil has little bites, little things that he does that you don't necessarily receive them. Yet the infliction is there. I will tell you, the person that has a very thin skin, if you look at my, well, thank God it's not so bad, but sometimes I'll look at my arm or my hand, I say, "What do you that? There's a big blotch, like a red blotch with that very thin skin." I don't even remember when I might have bumped my arm or my hand. So the devil, he does little things, but they begin to grow. And that was happening. I can actually, believe me, I can just touch this a little bit, and while the sand will get a nice red blotches. So I don't see it in the beginning, I don't even notice it, but it gets and grows. And the little devil bites that he does, the little temptations, the little aggravations, the little annoyances, the little sins do not seem to be that perceived, but they are. You be very, very, very careful. For example, and I know that everybody from Florida, everybody here from Florida, you're not from Florida, but I don't even, but now.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me ask a little more. I don't have a microphone out here, so you'll have to speak loud. Bill Moore, when you go up to a red light, you want to make a right turn. Do you have to wait for the light to change?
No, I stop, and then I go.
You stop, and you can make right. This is Florida. I remember when I came here, that Florida was really the only state that had that. Now a number of states have that. So you stop and then you make the right turn. However, you're very careful because I always want to warn you, if you see where it says stop here on red, you better stop. You better stop at the car kind of goes back. I've got 2 tickets doing that. And then you stop, and my point is that you don't see something, you stopped, but you didn't stop. So what we're saying here is that Christ nailed to the cross opens unto us the way to be cured of the bites of the devil. Because you can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. I don't care how smart or brilliant you think you are, you can't. I watch a lot of historical television, and almost every person, you look at Hitler. You know that Hitler conquered all the continents of Europe except even major parts of Russia. So he lost everything. He lost everything. One of the reasons that he thought he did it himself without the people around him. So my point is that we have to be very, very careful that even, and tell you think about Hitler, you may or may not know. You know that Adolf Hitler, believed that he was sent by God, I know, that's crazy, to save Western Christian civilization. He truly believed that communism, which was written by 2 Jewish people, was a threat to Western Christian civilization. So he excused himself, all the heinous things that he did, he excused himself that he was trying to do some good. That's how the devil operates. You think that it's good, but it's not good. You have to look down the road and see where it's going to go. The person that quits school to buy a car and gets a job to pay for the car, and now they feel they're independent, they've just given up the rest of their life. They're living with their future. The other day, it's happened to me on Monday. I was right to my doctor for my annual checkup, sitting there minding my own business, and a young man, 14 years old, with his mother, comes over to me. He said, "Sir," and I had a tank top on, I didn't like the priest. He said, "Sir, what is the best advice you would give to someone like me?" I had to know. I said, "The best advice I can give to you is, first of all, stay in school. Stay in school." "Is that your mother?" "Yes." I said, "That woman is paying for you to go to school." He looked at me quickly like, "What?" I said, "Your mother is paying for you to go to school." He didn't believe me. I said, "Well, let me ask you a question. Do you live with your mother?" He says, "Yes." I said, "How much do you pay for rent?" "Nothing." "How much do you pay for food?" "Nothing." "How much do you pay for clothes?" "Nothing." "How much do you pay for garage?" "Nothing." "The mother is paying all these things for you to go to school." We said, "Thank you." I said, "But I have one better. Get to know Jesus Christ. Get to know Jesus Christ. Stay in school. Apply yourself, and you'll do well." So what I'm saying is that all those people that think that I can make it on, I can do it on, I don't need anybody's help. I have a person that I know very well, and one of their favorite expressions is, "I don't want to ask anybody for help." Not me. I'm going to ask you all for help. We need each other. We need to help each other. You think you can do it alone, but you really can't do it alone. But the first one you want to ask for help for is Jesus Christ. I have a man here today, which I'm going to introduce later on when I make announcements. His name is Cody. Cody, would you stand up so everybody can see you? Please stand up. Cody has how many grandchildren? 6 grandchildren. Mom's a drug addict, Doug's a drug addict, Dad's a drug addict. He's taking care of them. He can't pay the rent, and the kids are going to be put to foster care, so he contacted me. He needs help. He needs help. Later on, I'm going to ask you if you want to, you can talk to him, you can help him. But my point is that we need God in our life. And without God, you might think your life is really good. Really? If you think your life is good and you don't believe in God, believe when I tell you this, your life will be a lot better once you get to know the Lord. Your life will be so much better, you won't be able to believe it. It goes on and says, what is it, in verse 3:16. If you ever go to a football game, a baseball game, a basketball game, in a place where there's lots of people, somebody is going to have taken one of the sheets from their house and written John 3:16. It is the most well-known verse in the whole New Testament because of maybe all the people quoting it. For God so loved the world, not loved, but God so still loves the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Everlasting life is a life that is filled with God's love. A life that's filled with God's love. I will tell you, you can say, well, that was the priest. I'm a priest. In fact, I love the story. I had a man came from Lebanon about 40 years ago, didn't like me, and with his big finger. They're not my idea of a priest. I said, I'm not my idea of a priest either. He said, what? I said, I'm not my idea of a priest either. So what's your problem? My point is that God so loves us that he gave his Son that we could have life. So I am not the person that settles for existence. We have so many, thank you, there's so many young people. The one thing I give God credit for over and over again is don't settle for what this country or this world or this civilization calls life. It's not life, it's existence. You're just getting by. When you have life, and why is it important to have the life? Because that's the life that goes on. Christina is here, Jason. Dutchie goes on. She does. She's not dead. Her body died. So that life that we get if we are connected to the Lord now, that's the everlasting life that we're looking for. Everlasting death is an existence devoid of love. So why don't you tell me, in fact, somebody came recently, I told them they were in a divorce situation. And, you know, the spouse being very mean and so on and so forth, and they don't know what to do. I said, be kind to them. Be kind to them. She looked at me and said, be kind to them. If for no other reason, it'll drive him crazy. Because he won't know why you're being so kind. Because people do not understand. When Jesus says, turn the other cheek, that's an opportunity for us to teach people something, do something different. Well, good, if somebody hates you, then that's what's a big deal. But if you do it to those people that do bad to you, you've done something. So everlasting death is an existence devoid of love. If you don't feel, I don't think anybody in here will feel this way. But if you don't feel that anybody loves you, you're going to be sad. You will be sad. Because we as human beings are made in the image of God. Jesus tells us that God is love. So therefore we are made in the image of love. Real love. I don't mean carnal love. I mean real love. We are made in the image of love. So if we have no one, nothing in our life that loves us, we're sad. And we keep going from one thing to another, trying to fulfill, trying to find something that takes away the sadness. Why do people get so, when I talk about drugs, anybody knows I hate marijuana. I hate marijuana. And there's always some people that smoke marijuana, they say, well, Father John, it's not addictive. Yes, it is. It may not be physically addictive, but it is mentally addictive. It is spiritually addictive. Because you're going to the marijuana to try and forget that you're unhappy. And marijuana, after you can't get out of marijuana, you're supposed to get, you go to the next level, the next level, the next level. Before you know you're a drug addict. You were a drug addict before you picked up the marijuana. Drugs are not the problem. In this country, we solve symptoms. The problem is that people are not happy. Why are Americans constantly? Why are we people that have one of the highest suicide rates in the world? We have all the material stuff in America, and people are killing themselves all over the place because they're not happy. So what leads to drug abuse, alcohol abuse, sexual crazy stuff? Because people are not happy. Go to the problem. Why are we not happy? Because we're not fulfilled. We're not fulfilled. If you eat a big meal, are you still hungry? If you eat a big meal, are you still hungry? You are? Are you, come on. If you eat a big meal, tell me you will stand in there, hands can't close them up. Are you still hungry? No. That's the meal. That's the meal. That's the one that I want to eat because I want to be filled. Anybody knows me knows I love to talk to people. I go and talk to people all over the place. And my father did the same thing. And your great-grandmother, your great-great-grandmother, my grandmother, your great-grandmother, right here. Back there. Anyhow, she would say, look, listen, always talk to everybody. Talk to everybody. Your grandmother would say, talk to everybody. Why not? The point is that we are always looking to satisfy something in ourselves. I like talking to people. I enjoy talking to people. If you don't want to talk to people, you have to ask yourself why. Some people don't talk to people because they're afraid that people say something about them. Who cares? Who cares? I think some of the people that are here today visiting, you like the hat? You like that hat? Now that hat, that's a hat. Right? You've ever seen that hat, right? You've ever seen people walking with that hat, okay? I don't care if people look at me funny. In fact, I'm surprised they don't look at me funny. I care about this relationship. I don't care about the relationship because nothing does for me what that relationship with Jesus Christ, that's what fulfills me. Goes on, he says in verse 18, so he who believes in him is not condemned, but he who does not believe in him is condemned already, because he has not believed on the name of the only begotten Son of God. Hear me well. Everyone born into this world, everyone sitting in this room or standing, is destined to go to hell. Sorry. Y'all don't go to hell. Ruby's looking at me like, is he drinking something? Y'all don't go to hell. Unless, and I tell you, because the thing is that what takes us to hell, let's get this straight. I don't believe that God condemns anybody to hell. I don't believe that. I believe what happens is that when people die and they come into the light of Christ and it lights up all the bad stuff they did in the world, if it's so bad, it's so disgusting, it's so miserable to them, they run away from the light. Everyone. Have you ever been walk into a dark room at your home, or and you put the light on and the roach runs out. Right? Or the rat runs out. They don't want to see that light. So people, when they see what they did in their life that was really bad, they run away from light and they run into the darkness. And what is the darkness? It is hell. God doesn't have to send anybody to hell. They run themselves out of the world to hell. So everyone born in this world, if you don't change your life, it's not that God can say, oh, okay, y'all can go to hell, y'all can go to hell. No. You were going there anyhow. You need to understand that. You were going there anyhow. The only way to avoid that is with Jesus Christ. So for me, I can tell you honestly that I can swim, but if I get tired of trying to, on and on, holding it myself, soon enough I'm going to drown. The only lifesaver, the only thing that can keep me afloat is Jesus Christ. We condemn ourselves by the way we live. You do. I mean, I hear it. Those people that are into, I get into it. It is one of the worst things on the internet. I know kids don't talk about that because it upsets people. Okay, what are y'all going to talk about? How to make bread? I'm here to try and help you. I'm here telling you that when you have the temptation to go to those sites on the computer or on your phone, you are going to wind up separating yourself from God. You don't need it. You think you do. I get bored. I'm tired. It's a release. Really? That's the release. I'm telling you what the release is. I know what I'm talking about. I'm older than everybody. Is everybody? Okay, except Jesus. You know, two people that are a couple of months older than me, and thank you for being here, make me feel up. But the fact is, I know what I'm talking about. So we have to be wanting to have a better life. Christ desires for all his children love and life, and this will bring you happiness. It will, I guarantee you. The younger you are, the sooner you learn this. And I told this to people that come to confession. The sooner you get a handle and a control on your bodily desires, the sooner you're going to have a better life. You will be in control, because otherwise it's controlling you, and it is controlling you. It is controlling you. One of the prayers that we say before the great entrance is no one who is bound with the desires and pleasures of the flesh. If you can't control yourself, there's a problem. And you need to seriously, don't ignore it, don't think, well, everybody else does that, so on and so on. That's not going to make any difference. It's your life. Your individual life is the most important life that you know of. And if you get a control on it, a handle on it, it's not going to be a life. It's going to be an existence. And for me, and for mine, I will follow the Lord. I will follow the Son of the Holy Spirit. Let us pray to the Lord.